came from the Philippines originally, and we went to the United States in 1978. I was 22, my wife was 18, my wife's right there. And I started as a clerk, and then in the evening I was working like in a Dunkin' Donuts place to make extra money. And then I attended a meeting like this. And I saw and I heard of people making a lot of money, so I decided I don't like to work in a job anymore. I want to be like those distributors. It was another company. At the time it was Amway, you know. And that's where I learned. I tried it for 3 months, it didn't work, I quit. Next. So, I started going from one company to the other, and I had a lot of training with different companies, and then E8PA came along. But before E8PA, I was so broke. My wife lost her job. We were losing money, and we were about to lose our house. And thank God for E8PA. Next. At one point, my son was telling me, I said, "Dad, why don't you drive an ice cream truck with me?" I said, "Why?" "Because you're so poor, Dad. You don't have any money." I said, "Jason, I'm not poor. I'm a rich man who is broke." Two different things. Next. It's all mindset, you know. So I joined E8PA. 45 days I was a 5A. 60 days I became a 6A. 90 days, 3 months. And the way you do it is I was doing demo every single day, 1 or 2 demos. Next. So 3 months I became a 6A. By the 6th month I was looking at my genealogy. There are 300 sales in my group already. And then by the end of the first year, those people that I brought in started building their own groups. My group was selling over 500 machines per month at the end of the first year. And then I created a DVD of my story. It wasn't on Facebook yet at the time. That DVD, I distributed about 40,000 DVDs on my second year. And that bring up my organization and sales to over 1,000 machines per month by the second year. Next. This is my family now. My 2 sons, my daughter-in-laws, my 3 grandchildren. I have 4 now. And this was at the back of our house in Staten Island. Next. And last year, I made the rank of 6,811-6. This was in Okinawa. There's my 3 grandchildren. Next. This is where we live today. Before this, I was about to lose my house. Because of E8PA, 13 years I was able to build and bought like 5 houses. Because of E8PA. Next. That's where I work at the back of the house, at the bedroom. So you see the ocean, I watch the sunrise every morning. Next. So that's the house in Staten Island, New York. Now, in the Philippines, I grew up in a farm. My grandfather used to let me like watch the rice fields and use a slingshot to like shoo away the birds eating the rice. Next. At the back of our house, we are right on the beach. So I had like 4 small boats and a bigger one that you could fit 12 people. In fact, Michelle was at our house, and I think she drove the boat at the time. But anyway, we can drive from the back of my house all around the Statue of Liberty, all around Manhattan. That's where we are. Next. And then I found out, when I had that house in the United States, it became easier to bring in people, you know. People that did not want to join me in the past would come to my house and they would say, "I should have joined you a long time ago." So I built another house in the Philippines. Next. That house in the Philippines had like 8 rooms, 12 bathrooms. Anyway, I built a house for my mom. Next. And then I had some investment houses in New York. Next. That's another one. Next. I have donated, I have built like 5 churches already. The second church, next. The third church, next. The fourth church, next. So this is the latest one. We started it last month, 2019. It might take me a year to build this one. And these are all from Kangen money. Next. Now, I cannot teach you everything, so follow me on Facebook. Next. Now, how to become a 6A? You don't need to hear it from me. From everything you heard today, just do what you're doing, you will become a 6A. You don't need any more knowledge, you need more doing of what you already know. Next. Now, to become a 6A 11-6, that's a different story. Next. Now, success is predictable. Because like Gary says, there are laws, you know. Don't ask why. It's there, it's a law. You follow the law, you'll make it. Next. Failure is also predictable because if you violate the law, you fail. Okay? So understand those rules. Next. Now, what are some of those laws? It's like the law of average, you know, the law of compensation, the law of cause and effect. It's all there, and you have to use it for your advantage. Next. Now, I wish I could just like download it on a flash drive and stick it to you, and then upload it, but it doesn't work that way. You have to learn it yourself, meditate on it, ponder on it, and like do it. Next. Now, training. This is very important. Again, very important for success. Everything you learn this whole day today, okay, everything that you learn this whole day today, if you don't use it and do it, starting tomorrow, it just became an entertainment. It's like if I teach you or everybody teach you how to ride a bicycle, and we can talk about riding a bicycle all day. If you don't go tomorrow and literally go on the bike, you'll never be able to ride a bicycle. That's success. Everything you learn has to be a body memory. It has to be a part of you. And there's no other way for it to become a part of you until you do it. Next. Same thing with swimming. We can talk about swimming all day long until you get into the water and do your thing. That's the only way it becomes part of you. So success is not going to be a part of you until you do it. Make sure everything you learn today, started doing it tomorrow. Next. So it starts as a health knowledge, but it has to come to your heart. It has to come to your, literally, body memory. Next. Prospect list. Your prospect list is your doorway to your organization. If you do not have a prospect list, you don't have a door. So starting tomorrow, if you don't have one, make a list of 100 names. And then as you call them, you replenish it. And you keep on doing it. Next. When I was starting to do network marketing, I listened to this tape. It's called Millionaire Training Tape. One thing I learned there, it says, talk to 10 people a day. And I learned that a long time ago, 30 years ago. Okay? Many years ago, 30 years ago. So I make sure every single day I talk to people. I will have a notebook and I will list down the names of people I talk to. And use that every single day. Make it a habit. Next. So success, you think, you ponder it, you meditate it, you do it, and you keep on doing it. Next. Body, soul, spirit. Okay, you're gonna use all the faculties inside of you. Next. Now, why do they look alike? That's the brain cells and that's the universe. Why do they look alike? Because they have the same creator. Okay, next. Okay, if I make a phone call and tell my mom in the Philippines, Mom, I'm going to make $5 million. Okay. My mom will hear it in the Philippines on her cell phone, right? If she's in London, she would hear it. If she's in the United States, she would hear it. If she's in the moon, she would hear it. If she's in Mars with the proper instrument, she would hear it. Okay, I'm trying to make a point that next, what comes out of your mouth registers in the whole universe. So if you say, I don't think anybody will buy this machine, it's too expensive. You just said it. It registered in the whole universe. It disconnected you from all the possible buyers that you can have. So watch out what comes out of your mouth. Don't say anything negative. Next. So your words are powerful. Our words are powerful. I mean, this whole universe was created by words, you know. You create your life by your words. You destroy your life by your words. Next. Okay. I have read so many books because I'm a learner. Okay. Even when I was younger, I keep on reading and reading and reading. Now, after so many years of learning a whole lot of things, I kind of built some organization, built some business, but then after a while, I just lost my organization, and I'm back down to like zero. I know some of you might have experienced it. So what I did, I threw away all my books. Next. Next. I threw them all out. And then I bought an iPad. And then I bought them all again. Next. Next. But then I found out that there's something beyond personal development. Can I have a glass of water? Thank you. Next. There's something beyond personal development. Okay, I went into spirituality, like the word. I found out that all these principles comes from, in my case, the word, the Bible. Okay, next. Now, so I'm going to share you some of the principles I learned. Thank you. Principle number 1, destiny. Next. Remember Abraham? Abraham was a Jew. 5,000 years ago, God told him, your descendants will be as many as the stars in the skies. 5,000 years ago. Today, out of 7 billion population of planet Earth, more than half of that is his downline. Between 2 legs. On one leg are all the Muslims, and on one leg are all the Christians. 2 legs. You have to build 2 legs if you want to succeed. Abraham, they are our grand. If it was in Egypt, he would have been a 6A 100. That's 100. That's his destiny. You are all destined to succeed. It's inside of you. That's why you are here today. Otherwise, you won't be here. Next. Principle number 2, choices. Next. Although you have the destiny, you still have to make the right choices. You can lose your destiny. You still have to make the right choices. Okay, next. Because I have seen in this business, some people in my downline who are all the way up there and they made their own choice and left in Egypt, and their downlines continued and they lost literally millions of dollars just because they left. It can happen. So don't you ever quit. You don't know which one of your downline will blossom later. They're still buying their head today. Why they quit? That's Abraham's genealogy. Make sure you join the E8PA so that you can see your own genealogy, and grow it. Okay, next. Principle number 3, numbers. Next. Magic number 12. Remember that. Cynthia is 6A, I think 11-6. JB is the same thing. I'm 6A, 11-6. I'm working on my 12th. 12 is the magic number. You build wide because you do not know who's going to build after that. Okay? What happened? So, you keep on building because, like I said, you don't know who's Who's going to, what happened to my slides? Okay, so magic number 12. There are 12 apostles, there are 12 tribes of Israel, there are 12 months in a month, there are 12 hours during the day, 12 hours at night, there are 12 donuts in a 1 dozen donuts. So keep building until it becomes 6, 8, 12, and then it will build deep. Now I forgot the rest of the principles. Now, my son, my grandson Angel, a few days ago, said to me, I said, Grandpa, I'm going to be an author of a book. He's 7 years old. And then he brought me a bond paper. He said, Grandpa, can you draw an ocean and a mist and a mountain and a boat and a person? And I did. I drew it. And then he said he will write a book. And he put the title. The title says, The Mystery of the Sea. That's the title of his book. And he's 7 years old. And then he started writing on top of my drawing, because he told me I'll be his illustrator. He started writing chapter 1. There was a man in the ocean, and he saw a mist, and he went on a boat, and the boat went through the mist, got sucked up underneath the ocean, went into a time tunnel, and then rise above the ocean again, and went to AD 19, that's 2,000 years ago. Like in time travel, you know. And then he said, chapter 2. Once he was out on the water again, he saw Jesus walking on the water. That's chapter 2. Now, here's my point. My little grandson decided he wanted to be an author of a book. And he did it right there. Did not procrastinate it. I've been trying to write a book. I've been telling people I'm going to write a book. I'm 63 years old now. I still haven't written a book. My grandson beat me to it. My point is, you have to know what you want and you do it. You don't procrastinate. Just do it. Okay, principle number 4, multiplication. Now, in our business, I want to differentiate between addition and multiplication. Okay, in the Bible it says go and multiply. It didn't say go and add. Okay, what's multiplication? If you were to sell if you were to sell one machine a day, in 1 year time you will have 360 sales. Okay, that's not the way to do it. Anyway, nobody can sell one machine a day. The way to do it is next. Go forth and multiply. You find two people. Okay, you make yourself, but try to find two people who will do their own 100, and you become a 682 on the first year. You don't stop until you find those two people. And then you make those two people do the same thing. Next. So you become 682, it becomes 4, it becomes 8, it becomes 16. That's multiplication. You get 2 who gets 2 who gets 2 who gets 2. You become a 682, that's 4. Okay, next. Mission, principle number 5. I think of myself as being on a mission. Next. Like Moses, he freed the Israelites from slavery. We also, as Kangen distributors, free people from the slavery, I would say, of a 9-to-5 job. I don't like to work a 9-to-5 job, you know. I was 29 years old when I quit my job, and that was the last time I worked. From 29 years old to now, I haven't worked. I'm in a job. Okay? So we free them from slavery of poor health and lack of money. Next. Principle number 6, discipleship. What is discipleship? Next. Discipleship is when you sponsor somebody, you disciple them, you teach them, you stay close to them. So with your team people, with your key people, try to get them to your house, or you keep on meeting them. Discipleship is my life touching another person's life. Okay? And the way it happens is that constant training, that constant contact. Like Jesus taught his 12 apostles for 3 years. And they recruited the world. You know? There are 2 billion people now from that activity. Next. Mr. Oshiro, he does that. Like yesterday, before this convention, he met with the last 6. There were 6 of us. After meeting with us for like 2 hours, 3 hours, he met with the last 3 and higher for another hour. It is discipleship. And we're supposed to meet every 2 months. The last 3 and higher. Okay, next. So try to be with your people. Try to connect to them. Principle number 7, sowing and reaping. Garvey spoke about this. Next. Don't worry about who will join, who will buy, who will grow. Just take care of sowing the seeds. That's what I do. Because if you will try to grow them, you're not the one growing them. You're just sowing the seeds. My job is not to convince anybody. I was asked before, said Romy, how do I convince my relatives? How do I convince my friends? And I said, we're not in the business of convincing. We're just in the business of giving information. You know? They will convince themselves. If you think you're in the business of convincing, I mean, you will wear out. Next. Now, people are different. It's like different kinds of soil. Next. For instance, in that analogy, there are people who are like rocks. If you throw seeds on rocks, it will not grow. Okay? So some seeds will fall on good ground and then it will grow. That's why there are some people, you have spoken to them just a few words about Kangen and they're buying already. Now there are other people, you're giving them so much explanation, they still don't want to buy. Okay, so just keep on giving the information. Next, growth. Growth is a sign of life. If something is not growing, it's dead. Okay. Now, when you are green, you become ripe. When you are ripe, you start to rot. Okay, so don't ever be ripe. Ripe are people who think they already know everything. They don't need training. You know, always be learning, forever learning. Because once you think you already know everything, that's the time you start to rot. Next. Now, it's a good thing that God did not ask us to grow trees. Our job is just to plant the seeds, you know. He will take care of growing the trees. Next. Vision, principle number 9. Next. A leader is somebody who could see things clearer than most people. For instance, Enagic. How did you see Enagic? Where is the Enagic company going? Okay, next. Okay, a long time ago, I practiced this thing called dream board. A dream board is like, you want to see clearly what your future life would be. So you want to know how, like what kind of house, Sebastian spoke about these two, want to know the details. So I posted that houses on my wall for years, I think 5 years. And one of that house became my house. Next. The house where I live today, one of them was on my dream board. When I put the dream board, I didn't know that was really going to be my house. I just want a house like that, you know. Until one day my wife and I went out. We went to the house on my dream board and we looked and we offered to the owner. Eventually it became our house. That's the power of dream board. Next is magical. Okay, promised land. That's my promised land. Next. Faith. Principle number 10. Faith, they say, is the substance of things hoped for. Everything hangs in the power of your faith, in the power of your belief. Once you doubt, you lost what is supposed to be yours. You start to lose it. So don't do that. Like I've always dreamed When I quit my job when I was 29 years old, I've always believed that one day I'm going to make $1 million and then millions of dollars, and I'll be one top person in a company, and it came true. I just never quit. I don't know why I never quit. It's some kind of like faith that just like I never let go. Don't give up. Okay, you have to hold on to faith. Next. You have to believe in the company. You have to believe in Mr. Oshiro. You have to believe in your product. You have to believe in your ability to build this business. You have to believe in the future of this company. I really believe that this Kangen machine will be like a microwave oven in everybody's house. Okay? I believe that. You want to be a part of it. I have seen from a time when 13 years ago, all I wanted to have is 100 machines to be sold in New York. And I was the only one actively doing it in New York 13 years ago. In fact, we were losing out of machines. And I had to call JP and said, JP, can you tell the company to send some machines? I just want to sell 100 and become a 6A. You know? And I see us grow into selling 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 a month, 10,000 a month, and keeps on going. Next. We have 38 global offices now and growing. Okay, next. Next. Principle number 11, action. Next. Nothing happens until you take action. It is the action that brings results. Okay, you can have all the goals and plans, but the result comes from the action. So you should be taking action every single day. Next. Principle number 12 is the last one. Humility in strength. Next. There's an image of Jesus as being the lion and the lamb. You should have this character of the lion. Victorious. Doesn't give up. And at the same time being humble. At the same time being out. You have that combination. Next. That's there. Now, I'm going to give you, I will end with this. 2 days ago, I woke up. When I found my son, my grandson, he wrote this book. In a few minutes, the one that he wrote, the bond paper. I said, I want to write also. So I'm thinking, the one that I'm going to write, I'm going to give you a clue, is success. Okay, now how do I define success? Number one, S is spiritual sense. That's number one, okay? Spiritual sense. I mean, we have all these senses, but it's the spiritual sense where you see the whole law of the universe. You have to be sensitive to that. You cannot be successful by having a lot of money and being sad, okay? Or being miserable, or like having a messed up life. Okay, success is a wholeness of the whole being, the money and the health and the relationship with other people. Okay, now as you in the success is universal principles. You gotta learn that. C, charity. Charity or love is the rule, is the teaching of all the gurus. You know, it is the thread that permeates all teachings. Love. You cannot succeed without love because people feel it in you. If you don't love them, they don't care. Maybe you have a good presentation, but if you don't love them, they're gonna buy from somebody else. They will know it. C is compassion. Mr. Oshiro, success. Compassion. Mr. Oshiro is always telling us to spread the message of compassion. Okay, around the world. I learned that from him from the time I started. He is one of those people who I feel it. It's real, and I got it from him. Success. E, energy. Energy. Everything in the universe is energy. You have a positive energy, you have a negative energy. Make sure you always have the positive energy because it radiates from you. E, S, surrender. You don't really pursue success. Okay, success is inside of you. You surrender to it. You surrender this. It's inside of us. And the last one is S again, synchronicity. Synchronicity is harmony. Harmony with everybody, harmony in your business. Don't cheat anybody. It's like a disharmony. It will ruin your business. Okay. So be aware of that synchronicity, that oneness. Thank you very much.
So, thank you very much, Mr. Romy. Okay. One more clap hand for him. Thank you.